everyone to the Kerrion Show. I am your host, LaCarrie Jackson, and this is a platform where we talk about life, legacy, and leadership. Life has a way of, disrupting different seasons that we're in. But when those seasons come, we show our resilience or we build it and strengthen it when we continue to carry on. And so today's episode is one that I am super excited about because if you haven't figured it out yet, I am bringing on some powerful young leaders who I've either known or I've met. And either way, they're in my network. And I think that everyone in my network is brilliant, gifted, talented, smart, and just a leader within their own right. And so today's conversation is listen, y'all are in for a treat. When I tell you that I am, Jay Sean, when I think about when you and I first met, I am just so impressed. So, with that being said, y'all, let's get into it. I want to introduce you to Jay Sean Matthews, who I will allow him to introduce himself, but just a brief introduction from my lips to your ears is this. Jay Sean and I met over social media when he reached out to me. And I try my best to, when people reach out to me, I try my best to make sure that I give them a couple of minutes of my day. And I remember when you and I set up the meeting to connect virtually. I don't know. I think I told you that I was probably available for like 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes or something like that. That call lasted 45 minutes to an
Mhm.
hour. I mean, I literally had to send a message for my other meetings to say I was running late. But it was just, I was that impressed with you. And I'm super excited that you're here. I know for a fact that our viewers will want to hear from you and that they will learn from you, as a matter of fact. And then when I think about it too, I don't think I told you that we have some young viewers across the continent of Africa
Wow.
that are watching us. Yes, yes, yes. Love the continent and love all things global. But we're gonna get into it. And first, I want to, Jay Sean, before I ask you to introduce yourself, I kind of want to know who is Jay Sean at the core. Like, who are I know I didn't tell you that I was gonna
Yeah.
ask that, but I mean, and you can, if you want, you could just give me one word, or you can say whatever you want to say. But who are you?
Well, yeah, that's a really intense question. Um, to name a few words, to simplify it, I would say somebody who's compassionate, disciplined, determined, hardworking, and really caring. To sum it all into one, well, two four words.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Like I could see all of that.
yeah,
I could see all of that. And especially when we dive into our conversation today and about the things that you're doing, I could see that. I can see that. Oh wow. You didn't name anything about titles in that.
yeah,
And I'm finding this really interesting because when I ask this question to different young leaders, they're not throwing titles in there, which says to me
mm,
that you all have some sense of knowing who you are without the things and without the titles and,
yeah,
and all of that. So
yeah.
yay! Well,
Mm,
welcome, welcome, welcome to the Carry On Show. And so let's get started
okay.
with just giving a brief introduction of yourself, and then I want to dive into some discussions about the great things that you're doing.
Okay, perfect. My name is Jay Sean Matthews. I'm a sophomore at Morehouse College studying business marketing with a minor in sociology from Roanoke, Robbins, Georgia. And I'm also the founder and executive director of the Black Youth Empowerment Network, which is a national nonprofit that is dedicated to empowering Black youth through opportunities, resources, and tools to just help them bridge the opportunity gap and also help them overcome systematic barriers. I've been doing the work for the past 2, 3 years now. Starting in high school as a senior, continuing to work as a sophomore in college, just making a great impact. We have collegiate chapters now, organizing young leaders across the country to make localized impact in their communities and just spread awareness about the things that are affecting Black communities.
Wow. I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, for you to be so young, and first of all, you have your elevator speech so tight. That thing is so tight to
I gotta
me.
give it a lot. I gotta give it a lot.
And it reminds me though
Yeah.
of when you reached out to me and when you and I met virtually. I was just and when you start talking about yourself and you did your presentation,
Yeah.
I was just so impressed. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
literally it's as if you've had some type of public speaking class or Toastmasters or something. You have that elevator speech tight.
Thank you. Thank you. I give it
And
a
I
lot.
love it. I absolutely love
Yeah.
it. So, okay, let's talk about you as a Morehouse college student. I'm curious, I would love for the viewers to hear, what are you studying?
Yeah.
And um how does it feel to be a sophomore in college?
Yeah. So I'm currently studying business marketing with a minor in sociology, but actually just recently I submitted a form to change my major to sociology. I know. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I used to always go into business classes and it would be very boring to me, honestly, quite boring to me. But I took a sociology class over like the past semester as well as also over the winter semester as well. Well, winter break, I took a winter class and I like dived deep into the sociology world a little bit more. And
Mm.
something about sociology it really taught me the the perspectives and the lens we see through our society, but sometimes don't even notice. And I realized that I was making better business decisions based off those sociology classes compared to my business classes and whatnot. And I
Wow.
felt like I was becoming a better man by being in those sociology classes and learning how society operates. And it made me less judgmental. It changed my perspective on things, made me more of a compassionate person. So I really wanted to dive deeper into that, have that personality, that mindset cultivated. So I changed my major to sociology. I'm waiting to hear back from the department chair to see if I got accepted into the division, but we'll see. But yeah,
Oh my,
sociology is the way to go.
this
Yeah,
is just this is incredible, and to see that you're so young and how you process
yeah,
things, and you're realizing that your decision making
yeah,
has changed,
yeah.
and that, I mean, I just think that this is fascinating. And so you, I mean, of course, I'm sure thought long and hard and said, this is the way
Yeah.
that I'm gonna go.
Very long,
Wow.
very long. So with business in this world, you have a better outcomes career wise,
Yeah,
make more money and whatnot. So
absolutely.
changing sociology was like a really big shift because I was like, okay, Jason, I could put myself at jeopardy possibly when I go into the workforce.
Mm,
Sociology may not make that much money, but I
mm,
knew that it was more so about my passion and my purpose, and I feel like I could have really went towards my purpose more by going the sociology route rather than the business route. Like I said before, I was making better decisions with a sociology mindset rather than the business mindset. The business mindset was more so about, okay, let's fundraise, let's get this money to like prosper the organization. But when
mhm.
I had the sociology mindset, I was more so worried about the impact, like touching members and touching like just like getting their perspective more, like listening to the community more to overall grow the organization. And when I listened to the community more and impacted more members, that's when more money started to come in too. So it's like when you prioritize your community more and like actually lean into your purpose and your passion, the money will follow. However, but when you prioritize money and pride and fame,
Yeah.
you kind of lose that community. But you have the money though. But you you lose the community. You use
So
the
you have the cash
yeah,
or the green,
yeah, but
but yeah, you
you miss
lose
out on
the
the
community.
community.
This is, listen, I mean, we can unpack this. This could be like different versions or different parts of several
Yeah,
episodes, and what you're saying. And for the viewers, for those who are, in college, going to college or whatnot, the things that you're saying, Jay Sean, are so important because a lot of times, and I'll just say back in my generation, it was all about get a job, make sure you could take care of your family, stay on that job for until you die,
yeah,
so to speak. And money was a part of it. The one thing that I will say though is working for a Fortune 50 company, I was able to have several careers within one company. But to your point, like literally, I could feel so deep within my soul that the community
Mhm.
was crying out for me. And I was already doing things in the community on my own.
Mhm.
Okay. But besides the things I'm doing for the job. But I started to hunger for that more and said, you know what? I would prefer to do this, like social impact. I would prefer to do this 24/7
Yeah.
because I really, I really connected with the fact that it's the reason why I'm born. Like,
Mhm.
this is why I'm born. I'm not born to work in finance and accounting. And when I worked in with finance and accounting, you want to talk about boring. I get it about money and counting the dollars, but it just
Yeah.
did not awaken
Mhm.
my soul. It did. I mean, it was I was still,
Yeah.
just dry and dead and all that. But this is so powerful. And so when you talk about passion and purpose, it's a lot of young people who need to hear this.
Mhm.
And it's a lot of adults that need to hear this as well. So let's get into it. You started, like, you have your own nonprofit organization, but your nonprofit organization did not start today.
Yeah.
Like, you started it when you were younger.
Yeah.
I I mean, help us to understand, how is it that you're a young person and you think I'm gonna start some type of nonprofit or movement
Yeah.
or network?
Yeah, it is pretty major more than I think about it. And I can barely, barely wrap my mind around it. But it originally started when I was just a high school student, you know.
Mhm.
There was a plethora of reasons. In no particular order, I go by each reason. The first reason was I ended up failing ninth grade. Due to the pandemic, I attended an underfunded school that rarely had the resources. So when the pandemic had hit, it just made things 10 times worse for that school. And I ended up failing that grade, honestly. So my mom moved me to a different school. It was a more predominantly white area, had better resources, more fluent. And at that school, I started to learn more about opportunities such as the Beta Club, National Honor Society, and other organizations that I never knew or had information about as well at the other school I went to. So that was one reason. The second reason was I wanted to join these new clubs, these new organizations I learned about. However, that GPA from ninth grade was the best, the most appealing, so I wasn't able to join those clubs. So I took time to really dive into communities, organizations, community programs that really viewed people based off their character rather than numerically and like off their like status or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that really gave me like the tools and the skills I need to assess my community and better it furthermore. Then the third reason was I used to be on social media a lot, Facebook especially, as an old head. And I used to see like my classmates who I went to ninth grade with, middle school, elementary school with, either dead or in jail. And I was like, dang, this is pretty unfortunate that I had to move to another location to receive better opportunities and be in a safer environment. Whereas my peers who I grew up with, like my childhood friends, or less unfortunate. And I was like, that's not fair. Then the final reason was I wanted to run for senior class president, and I wanted to start a Black student union at this predominantly white school, like the most a high school student could do is start a Black student union, a Black student. However, administration ignored it, and I also lost senior class president. And I also feel like I dealt with a lot of microaggression as well
Mhm.
during that campaign season. So all those things combined, was really really difficult to process, as well as also discouraging. However, I really had a very very strong mindset on I didn't let this deter me from my vision of creating a community of Black young leaders. And that was another thing as well. I seen a lack of Black representation and leadership in my community, and I wanted to fix that by having the youth step up to it, answer to the cause. So that's when I started the Black Youth Empowerment Network. Um, at first, it was like 70 people in the group chat. I was just sending them opportunities like, hey, apply to this scholarship, apply to this fellowship, apply to this job, just to try to bridge the opportunity gap and have them access to this information that they don't know about. So I did that for a bit, and I mobilized a couple of young leaders in the area. There was an incident that happened in my community where there was a middle schooler, two middle schoolers. It was a gun violence incident that happened in the movie theater, pretty really young age. And I realized that, okay, Jishan, so you're sending all these opportunities about scholarships, internships, and jobs. However, you aren't doing anything to really disrupt that system of violence in your community and also help them change their mindset and be more mindful. So that's when I launched like my first like webinar, my first mobilization where I got young leaders on the call, counselors on the call, and other adult leaders as well to talk about how to make mindful decisions. You know, like the impact of gangs, the impact of gun violence, the impact of like bad decisions that we can end up at. So that was the first time me as a leader in my organization got our hands dirty. And that like set forth so much. So then after that, I took a small break because that was in the small break of the summer 2024 because I was transitioning to college to attend Morehouse, and that's a whole different story as well. But I was transitioning to college to attend Morehouse, and I did a fellowship over the summer that taught people how to scale their social impact organizations,
Wow.
and they gave us also some funding as well to do that. So when school started back up, I relaunched the organization around October, November, on a different scale. I restructured the organization. I made it sort of a membership driven organization. And I also met somebody who is a really great friend of mine, James. He's like my deputy executive director. He's like my right hand man. And like us together kind of like really envisioned what the new BYM was going to be. So that happened, and we been hitting it ever since. We had like 200 members nationwide the first round. Then the second round we had over 500 members nationwide again. And then like the third round, which we're currently in, we have like, over 10 collegiate chapters, you know, alongside other at-large members as well. So we've been hitting it hard, you know, hosting networking events, connecting young Black leaders to seasoned professionals, as well as also mobilizing those members again
Mhm.
about things we're passionate about. And one of the biggest issues we're passionate about is gun violence, because that's where it all started, as well as also educational access, as well as also voter mobilization, trying to get people more engaged civically, and just a lot of work. We're just mobilizing, organizing, and trying to do the best we can for the greater good.
I mean, but this is so incredible. And I think about like when you started in high school and then even stopped,
Yeah,
but to go back and start again, to have the courage to do so, to I mean, not give up on the vision,
yeah,
so to speak. That takes a lot. And I mean, I know that it had to strengthen the resilience, that resilient spirit.
yeah,
Oh my goodness. And then to get someone to join in with you. And you talked about James and to bring this movement to a whole nother level. And so I have, of course, Jayshawn, you have a website.
yeah,
And I definitely want you to share that with the viewers. But I've taken a look at your website and I see the photos. And the photos are, I think they speak, I mean, a million words, a thousand words or
yeah,
whatnot. And the movement, I call it a movement
yeah,
because it's truly I, like I've never seen anything like it.
yeah.
And again, I go back to the place where you stopped and then you started back. But when you came back, to me, it's kind of like you came back stronger.
I
Like,
tend to do
what?
that.
Like, what in the
Yeah,
world?
yeah.
Wow. And so you have a Morehouse College chapter.
Hmm.
And that your national, is the national chapter connected to Morehouse
Yeah.
or okay.
So we have two membership types, but they're all national membership. We have at-large membership and chapter membership. So we have like the Morehouse chapter, UGA chapter, Bethune-Cookman University chapter, Alabama A&M chapter, NCAT chapter, Clark Atlanta chapter, Spelman chapter coming as well. Multiple chapters in progress as well too. So those are two membership types. So if there's not a chapter at your institution, you would be considered an at-large member. But Morehouse chapter is the first chapter we initially installed because at first BYN was known as a Morehouse Center organization, but we wanted to scale, make it bigger. So we just really like established a Morehouse chapter. So now the Morehouse chapter handle all BYN work on the ground at Morehouse College, whereas now I can focus on expanding to other schools, expanding in the Atlanta area, expanding into different other cities and whatnot. Whereas that chapter at Morehouse, which is the first chapter, like the starting, the heartbeat of the organization, can handle that work there. Yeah.
Do y'all see this? Do y'all hear this? This is outstanding.
Thank
This
you.
is, I mean, incredible. And I'm just excited about the little part that, I play in, um, being connected to
Yeah.
you and trying to, because of the great work that you're doing and because you carry yourself with such poise and seriousness
Yeah.
and commitment. Jay Sean, I remember telling him like when you and I first talked, I
Yeah.
remember saying, hey, I might be able to connect you to a couple of different people. And I am a believer in that when you see someone that is trying and they are, really serious about their initiatives or their business or whatever it is, I am serious when I say that I like to connect. I like to be the connector because I have a very wide and deep network.
Yeah.
And so you haven't seen the half of it. Just know there's going to be more connections coming.
Nice, nice.
Okay, so I think one thing that I would like for you to do, I know you could say a lot to encourage or to inspire someone
Yeah.
else. And again, just thinking about, I don't even know if you were even thinking about expanding BYEN to international, to the
Yeah.
whole international side of the house, but hopefully you are. I would say this. Can you think of something inspirational or encouraging that you might want to say to the viewers?
Yeah.
I think about, people who have ideas, people who want to do some of the great things you're doing, and they're young, and then some are not young, but they
Yeah.
still don't necessarily have the courage that you have.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything that you could say
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. You actually reminded me of this thing that I really want to harp on. It's about being resilient. This resilience that I do have that I really pride myself on didn't come from anywhere. Like I mentioned before, like there's a story behind me getting to Morehouse. Like I got rejected from Morehouse initially, right? And I had to continuously like put in that work and communicate to the admission officers that I was worthy of being in their school. So I constantly did that. Constantly did that. I ended up getting accepted, right? Then I applied for the scholarship at Morehouse. Got rejected from that scholarship as well. But I
Yeah.
communicated to them as well that I was worthy of the scholarship and the work I'm doing. Ended up getting the scholarship, right? And then BYN stopping. Still had to get that back off the ground, be resilient again. And even now with growing the organization, I hear a lot of no's with like fundraising, partnerships, like other activities and other opportunities for the organization to grow. I hear a lot of no's, it being a nonprofit as well. So someone had to really like adapt and really like take pride in it, my resilient spirit. So be resilient. They're gonna be no's, they're gonna be losses, but like there's this one quote by Beyonce actually. I'm not verbatim, but she was saying something along the lines that like when you lose, it needs to happen. Take pride in those losses. Never think you're too big to lose. So when you do lose, like I said before, take pride in that. Learn that lesson, and how can I grow from this mistake? How can I grow from this lost opportunity? And yeah, I've been doing that ever since. Like whenever I lose, like for example, like bad grades,
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
fail a test, okay, well, how can I, do better on the test? Like, it's the
yeah.
same aspect, the same model that you can apply to so many different life choices, life opportunities. Okay, I didn't get that job opportunity. Now, how can I do better? One thing I really like doing is whenever I apply for job opportunities or like scholarships or grants opportunity, I always reach out to them to set up a call to see what could I've done better on the application. I respect their decision. I'm not gonna, force them to give me the grant or the opportunity, but I'm gonna like infer and get more information about how can I do better on the next opportunity. I embrace those losses. I embrace those lost opportunities. So yeah, that's what I would say. Be resilient because it will
Mm.
come. It will come. You will not
That's
be
right.
riding the wave all the time 24/7,
That's right.
and if you do, that's concerning. but to embrace those like those droughts and those like low points in your life, embrace it because it's a lesson and it's something that need to be taught to you for you so you can be able to take on the next blessing in your life. That's how I view
Wow.
it.
You know, when I tell you, it's to me, it's like you have an old soul,
Yeah.
like 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 a like a seasoned
Hmm.
adult, and I say that humbly, and it is, I mean, is unbelievable, and the inspiration, the encouragement that he shared with not just you, but with me as well, is when I tell you that is going to be etched in my heart, coming
Yeah.
from a young leader. This is unbelievable. But Deshaun, it has been an honor to sit here to have a conversation with you. This is not the end of you all seeing him. He's doing his own great work. He has his own platforms, but you have to come back. You must come back.
Absolutely.
We need to hear from you, and
Yeah.
especially, with all the great things you're doing and how you think and how you move and the wisdom
Yeah.
that you share. Listen, y'all, this has been an amazing conversation. And I tell you right now, I am fired up and I am ready to go out and start even my own movement. So, you've spent this time with us. Hopefully, you will take away some of the gems that Jay Sean has shared. And you will not only take them for you, but you will take those gems and share them with others. But then, in addition to that, I want you to share this podcast. Please share with others and then subscribe. So, the Kerrion Show again is one that's here to have conversations, to talk about life, legacy, and leadership. Life has its ups and its downs. But what we do with the downtime, with the valley lows, is going to be important and determine how we get to that next mountaintop. Thank you for joining us. Always remember, never quit, never give up. Thanks for joining the Kerrion Show. We'll see you during the next episode. Bye bye.
Perfect.
Jay Sean. You are